Hey, everybody, welcome to the Art of Relationship show. I am doing something a little bit different today. I am doing a live Q&A. Hey, Lane, I appreciate you. So I am doing a live Q&A. I'd love to hear your questions, your comment, and to be able to look at, what we can do. And, got a little hiccup going on. So let me try to start. But throw out your questions and comments. I'm going to try to kick off what's going on Instagram. Jessica, I appreciate you. Any questions you have, please hit me up. I'd love to help you out. Anything I can do with your relationship, your intimacy levels, those type of elements. And it's not a right or wrong. I'm looking at what I can do to help you out in the world, in your dating life, in your relationship, or in your marriage, and what challenges are you having as I try to get Instagram going on and trying to figure out what is happening. But throw out your questions out there, everything, and a lot of times it's look at I hear communication aspects, right? I hear it's not right at all, right? He doesn't hear me, she doesn't hear me, that type of element. And I get that. And it's not easy. It's being able to look at what is happening and what is going on. And again, it's not a right or wrong. It's being able to look at, hey, what can I do? What can I help you? And what do you do to try to understand each other? And it's not a right or wrong. It is looking at what I want to say. It's looking at how do you connect with each other in a situation to where you stop fighting, you're going after curiosity, you're going after concern, and those type of elements about what's happening. And I'm sorry, I see I'm a little distracted, but I'm trying to set up Instagram and find out what is happening and try to get that going on. So not a right or wrong, so hopefully it'll work now, and we're gonna see what happens. Hopefully it kicks off pretty soon. So let me know on Instagram if everything is going smooth, and throw out your comments down below. Okay, Mina, I appreciate you joining up. Felipe, throw out your questions and comments out there. How many people are looking at, what, I'm not heard, I'm not listened to, I feel like my partner doesn't get me, I'm taken for granted, that type of thing. So, or I want to kick it up in the bedroom or on the countertop, that situation. And again, it's not looking at a right or wrong. It is how you can connect, how you can connect with each other mentally, emotionally, physically, intimacy, sexually, and also, compassionate. How good are you at showing compassion and understanding for each other, but not looking at bashing each other, right? How many are guilty of bashing? I am too. I'm human, even though I've been doing this professionally for 21 years now. Excuse me, helping couples. And I help couples, deal with most of what I work with are affairs, cheating, one cheated, maybe both of them cheated emotionally, maybe physically, a combination of both. So yes, it can be healed. You can have a more connected, more trusting, more lively, more central relationship than you ever thought possible. Okay. Hey, Teresa, I appreciate you. More family. So throw out your questions, throw out your comments out there. I want to be able to answer them. And I'm not just those bona fide self-proclaimed coaches, right? I'm actually fully licensed professional counselor in the state of Michigan. Need a lot of education. Okay. Wow. How Howie Mandel, what's up? Donnie, Howie Mandel. I know you like the haircut, right? No, yeah, I've been bald since longer than Howie Mandel, right? I've been this way, oh boy, since I was probably started losing my hair halfway through my senior year of high school. So that's been a long time. So I've been this way for a while and I own it. So go ahead, share the live on TikTok, and I'd love to hear your comments, your questions, and get as many people I can to help out. That's what I love. That's what my passion is, to be able to look at what is happening, what is going on, And it's not a right or wrong. It's not that situation, but I want to do, well, I have no idea if we're going to have a pandemic before the election 2024, bro. I keep hearing that, but I don't know if it's a myth. That's a good question. I wish I knew. But let me know. Throw in the comments down below about your relationship, your marriage, or your intimacy, going on. I know we talked about, I did a live Q&A Monday, excuse me, um, on TikTok, but here I'm all over the place on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram. I'm hoping it's working, but I don't think it is working. No, it's not. So I don't know what's happening to Instagram, but I'll figure that out later on another time. Okay. So I'm looking at, we're talking about pursuing, right? How many people out there, a woman might want their man or a man to chase them? And I tell people, I don't want anybody to chase anybody. Okay. There's a difference between pursuing somebody and chasing somebody, right? Chasing is, let's face it, in my terms, and you can disagree with me, that's fine. Um, Chasing is more begging, pleading. Please go out with me. Please let me take you to dinner. Please, you can say, please, hey, I'd love to take you to dinner. I'd love to have your phone number. I'd love to meet up sometime. Absolutely. Hey, Emily, I appreciate you tuning in as well. So, there's a difference between, a woman wants the guy to chase them. There's a difference between pursuing and chasing. Okay. Let's be honest. So we need to be able to look at that situation and what is up, what is going on. So you're not begging and pleading someone to go out with you or be with you, or begging and pleading someone to have sex with you. Okay. I mentioned before, I'm all about self-love and self-respect, but there's a difference between pursuing. Pursuing is showing someone, telling somebody that you're interested in. Hey, I'd love to take you out. I'm interested in you. I'd love to be in a relationship with you, or take you out and see where it's going. Okay. Not a right or wrong. It's saying, owning, hey, my intentions are this. I would love to take you out. I'm interested in talking to you more. Great. Do not beg or plead with anybody, okay? Because you're going to end up going on that friend list. You're going on that creeper list. I'm honest, okay? I'm honest, okay? Even my couples back in my office, like I told everybody Monday, my office is right back here. That's where I see couples, and, I do work with individuals as well. So I'd love to know, what challenges, what problems are you going through? There's a lot of times where, Greg, we can't talk. I talk about, communication issues. And I'm like, communication issues, right? You sit there, you piss me off. Well, you piss me off too. You understand each other. So is it a communication issue, or is it a perception issue? And a lot of times we might feel a certain way. We might feel hurt. We might feel upset, pissed off. I get it. We might feel angry. I tell people, you feel what you feel, but it doesn't give you a right to go off rip, to yell, scream, punch, hit, all that stuff. No, it doesn't. Okay. I get you have a right to be mad and angry, but are you able to connect with the individual and say, hey, you know what? Hey, I see you're mad. I see you're hurt. You're upset. What's going on? And a lot of people look at, oh, if I made you mad, I don't want to know about it. So you're getting away. You're like, oh, forget about it. Right. I don't want that. I want people to be able to, even if they think they're the one that made their person mad, maybe they're upset because something happened at work, or the kids upset them, ticked them off, type of thing. But at least you're telling your person, number one, you care. Hey, what's going on? I notice something's wrong with you. You seem mad, upset. Number two is, you're going after it. I call them questions of care and concern. I know I seem like I repeat myself every episode, but they're crucial about the questions of care and concern. So again, number one, you're recognizing, you notice your person, something's going on with them. And number two is you care by asking. You're concerned, even if it has to do with you, and you unintentionally maybe hurt their feelings, pissed them off, got them angry. You're willing to go after it, and you're caring by showing your person you care. You understand, right? Doesn't mean you get to yell and, get yelled, scream at, not at all. So there's a lot of times, a lot of people say, they start with the "Ow, ow," right? They're going to attack one another. They're going to, you know, come at one another instead of to each other and speak from the heart and the soul right here. Okay. That you're able to say, hey, you know what? Man, I felt hurt. I felt mad. I felt, disrespected by what you said and did. And then you can calm down and hopefully talk about it and heal it. Because if one person attacks, right, you did this, you did that, I want the other one to say, hey, you're mad, you're upset, talk to me. But that doesn't mean you get to yell and scream at me, okay? So there's a lot of issues I go after and deal with. I shouldn't say go after, that are presented to me in my office right behind me about relationships. And it's not easy. A lot of people in this field, and the professional counseling field, psychology, clinical social work fields, I should say, they say they work with a lot of situations. You go on their website and you're going to see they work with, or they specialize, and there's a list of 30, 40, 50 things. And I'm like, you specialize? How can you specialize in all that? It doesn't, you might be decent, but how can you be specialized on 100 different things, 50 different things? It just doesn't make sense, right? So when you really focus on certain areas, couples, relationships, is that basically what you do? Or is that just what you throw out there and you're hoping you're good at it, or trying to drum up business, but you really don't know what you're doing? Okay. And it's sad and it's unethical to me, okay? Redhead Shelby. Hey, what's going on? I don't know. I would love to hear your comments, your questions, but if I invite somebody to go live together, I honestly, unless I know who you are, I don't know if it's spam. Someone, hey, Greg, I want to promote your YouTube, your Instagram. It's a sales marketing pitch. So I apologize for that. So I'd love to hear your question. Throw it out there. Throw your questions, comments out there, and tell me what you deal with. And a lot of times, oh, sorry, got an itchy nose. Yeah, I'm human. So we look at these elements and be able to look at, what challenges are you going through in your marriage, in your relationship? Maybe you just broke up or went through a divorce, sadly, and you know what, you want to heal from that and you want to get back in the dating realm, and you're scared. You don't, heartbreak is the worst pain that we can feel. And hey, Redhead, I'm glad to have caught you on live here. I appreciate you. Peace. Hey, Shelby, hit me up. Let me know what your questions or comments are. Man, I appreciate you joining in live. I appreciate everybody who props, right? So, going back in the dating realm and trying to get back out there, it's not easy. You're scared. You don't want your heart to be, ripped apart at all. So it's hard. We get gun shy, or we pretend that everybody is out there to hurt us again, right? Maybe we were cheated on before. We're in abusive, physically, verbally, emotionally abusive situation. So, like a woman might be coming out of that situation trying to heal, and she's assuming every man is that way. Or the same thing happened to a guy. And there are women, yes, that abuse men as well. So a guy is thinking all women are like that, and it's sad. I get that, but that's not true. And, I'm all about being open and honest, and hey, I went through this, and you want someone that's going to respect that and be patient and not use it against you, okay? It sounds easy, but I'm huge, as most people know. I've heard me before as I adjust my mic, that it's hard. It's not easy. So I'm huge on gut instincts, is what I'm saying. A lot of people know that. I'm huge on trusting our gut instincts, but is our gut instincts, is that being blocked by our brain because our brain wants to protect us, protect our psyche, right? Remember this happened to you. Remember this happened to you. And it's just sitting right here, right? Remember this happened. And that's where I want to quiet the brain. I get it's trying to protect you, your psyche, but hey, what's going on? Is it really my brain that's going on, or is it my gut telling me and speaking to me? Okay. because the gut instinct, everybody looks at red flags, right? Oh, damn, I knew there was red flags. I ignored them. I, sort of pretended they didn't exist. I didn't go with my gut instinct, right? I get that. And it's not easy at all. Hey, Cheryl, what's happening? I appreciate you. Doreen, thank you so much for joining in. I'd love to, I want to know your comments. Okay, you pinned it. I am constantly going between the two and can no longer tell the difference. And this is, Shelby, that's very, very difficult. Okay, I appreciate your question. And I get this a lot, a lot of people look at, should we stay together? Should we not? Hey, Greg, should I leave a relationship, get a divorce, whatever? And I try to help people reach that decision, but that's their decision. Nobody else's. Okay. I help people get there, but again, Shelby, it's hard to tell the difference. And the little thing is you have to look at, what are you able to look at? Is it your brain and your heart, or I'm sorry, your gut and your brain? Are they aligned? Are they telling you the same thing, or are they opposing views? I tell people in numerous shows, I talk about wanting the heart and the gut to align. And it's a lot of times your gut saying, get the hell away, right? If she's bad news, he's bad news, get away, get away. Or in your heart saying, but I love him, but I love him. See, those are opposing views. And it's hard. And that's where I tell people, I get it. It's hard. We want to be loved. We want to be desired, craved. I do. And, so that overpowering feeling of wanting to be loved, wanting to be that, we might sort of block our gut instinct, right? It's telling us that might be bad news for us. And how many people are in that situation or been in that situation, and you're like, damn, I knew it. My gut told me, I went against my gut and I got burnt. Okay. So this is where I want the heart and the gut to align and to be able to quiet down. Is my gut really telling me something, or is it my past fear, trauma, insecurities that are getting in the way? So Shelby, that's where I would look at and try to, assess and try to look in the mirror type of thing to look at, am I really, is it what my heart really wants and my gut sort of wants to go against it? Or is there a way that maybe my gut and my head are telling me the same thing? So that's where I want to look at and help couples distinguish between the two. And it's hard to do. I gave you a synopsis of what I look for. And I deal with that, like I said, in my office behind me. On a daily basis. Greg, I don't know if it's my gut, if it's my heart. And I try to help people because I get it. Our heart wants to be filled with love and desire and fun and all those things. Hey, Renee, thank you. So that's where I want to, help you be able to center and, trying to get you the difference between the two. Okay. And I tell people all the time when I taught college classes for a long time too, that I ask people, define love for me, right? And, I get people open up textbooks, open, Googling stuff and trying to define love. It's this, Greg, it's companion. I said, put your phones down, put your textbook down, okay? I'm going to give you a simple definition. It's a feeling, right? No one can describe it. Why do you love somebody that is toxic to you, right? Why do you love somebody that might not be healthy for you? It's a feeling. If it's the chemistry, it's all that. And you have a lot of people understand, what real love is. It's a feeling, but it comes down to how you look at the situation and to be able to look at, what is it, how you want to be loved. You can have this chemistry and, infatuated feeling about love, but I look at, love is hopefully kind, not perfect, love is caring, showing you concern, compassion. Does it understand what you're feeling? Is it all about that other person's needs, or is it about your needs as well? It's about love of you. I love you, Dana. Who the heck is Dana White? So I don't know who that is. So someone mentioned, I can't see the name. But anyways, Reagan, I appreciate you joining in, Jimmy. I'd love to hear your questions, your comments. I know you don't want to hear me talk all the time. So let me hear your questions, your comments, maybe what you're going through. And a little bit ago, Shelby was mentioning, trying to tell the difference, having a hard time if it's a heart or gut instinct, you know, and I'm huge on gut instinct. And if it is, you're having a hard time distinguishing if it's, if your heart and your gut are having opposing views, I tell people, stop and look at, are they really the fears, whatever, or is it your gut instinct? Or is it, oh, you think someone's going to change and they don't, right? Oh, number one, do they want to change or evolve? Number two, they grow. Are they making the effort to grow and change and trying to integrate and become a better partner for you? And that doesn't mean selling yourself out. No, never want anyone to be someone they're not. Like, you have people in this field, sadly, that try to get people to compromise when one person wants sex once every 6 months. Yeah, I'm being honest. And the other one wants it 4 or 5 times a week. And it's not always the man. And you have some person in this field, which shouldn't be, I'm honest, and it's going to piss people off, that they're going to tell you, oh, compromise. How do you compromise on something that's so wide of a gap? That's so maybe the essence of who you are, but they want you to compromise. And I'm like, what? You can't do that. You're going to get resentful. It's just going to build and build and build and pop. Okay. So that's where I want you to be able to look at, what do you want? What are your expectations for a happy, healthy relationship? Not mine, not anybody else's, right? We could look at, oh, I don't want to be in an abusive relationship. I hope not, right? So we can look at definitive stuff. I don't want someone that's going to cheat on me, that's going to lie, that's going to beat me, emotionally abuse me. Those are givens. Probably pretty much most people want that, okay? But I'm looking at more specific expectations. How do you want your sex life, right? What does sexual compatibility look like to you? What about emotional compatibility? What about not only that, but intellectual, mental compatibility? And I'm not talking intellectual, being a brainiac, no disrespect to anybody out there. That is, how can I say this? You're on the same page mentally, how you can handle stuff, how you handle problems, disagreements, how you're able to think about maybe talking and thinking about world events might be an example. Or some people love monster truck pulls, that type of thing, and mud blogging, bogging and all that stuff, right? It's how you are intellectually, mentally, sort of on the same page that you get each other. So how are you with your expectations of, I just had a brain fart. No, sorry. As far as, spending time together. There we go. So, what does that look like? What does quality time look like? And to both of you, what does your own sense of individuality look like within, inside the encompass of a relationship or a marriage? What does that look like? What about religious views? I've had people that, Crystal, I'm sorry. I would love to come live with you, but I need to find out more or less who you are. Oh, someone please call the police. I can't stand up and is falling out of my nice people. Cool. But that's where I want to look at those type of situations. And Chris, I'd love to hear your comment, and I know you want to invite live, but I mentioned earlier, I don't know if I don't know you personally. I don't know if someone is spamming, if someone's going to be disrespectful, if someone is trying, oh, let me, promote your Instagram, YouTube, the marketers type of thing. Okay. So I want you to be able to, no disrespect to anybody out there, but if you DM me, I would love that. And, that way we get to know, and I'd love to invite you, get to know. Okay. So I appreciate that very much. So, going after these elements again, your expectations, a lot of people look at that. You don't know what your expectations are for a relationship. And I'm like, well, how do you know what you're looking for? How do you know what a healthy relationship is for you if you don't have a gist of, what do I say, what you're expecting in a relationship, right? Do you want someone that is religious? Shares your, or maybe religion is not important to you. If you could care less about intimacy, sex, then you need to be with someone that is on the same boat with you, unless you're okay with them having intimacy outside that relationship or marriage. And yes, there are couples like that. It's not judging, it's what works for each individual, what works for each couple. They make the rules, not society, not me, not anybody else. Okay, it's them. As long as it's consensual and you're honest and you're not running game on anybody, you're not lying or being deceitful. Not at all. Okay, I don't promote that at all. So I want you to look at, your expectation. What did you expect your relationship, marriage, your past? Oh, everything would be great, we're fantastic the first week of our relationship, then it went downhill. And I'm like, what? How long you been together? No, again, not bashing. I don't bash or judge. I'm looking at those areas that can improve your relationship in your lives together, so you can be happy. You can be, more connected than you ever thought. How many people are afraid to bring up stuff in their relationship, um, and look at, can you shout out the green sphincter? Oh boy, the green sphincter. Hey, peace, man. I is that sphincter? I don't even I don't even want to know what the green sphincter is. We know what a sphincter is, but if it's green, that might be, you might have to go to the ER or something if you got a green sphincter. So looking at those aspects, I want you to be able to look at what is going on, what is happening in your relationship, and is there a topic you're afraid to talk about that, hey, you know what, man, I can't bring this up, this is gonna tick him off, or this is gonna hurt her feelings. I can't even mention I'm upset about this because I won't get any intimacy or sex tonight. And I'm okay, I get you, but if it just builds and builds and builds and snowballs, it's going to come back and bite you in the booty. It's going to build resentment. It's going to just, wreak havoc in your relationship and in your marriage situation. Again, it is not a right or wrong, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going with the research and the percentage, scientific data, if you will, about going on with the relationship, what's going to happen. I've had people that hold on to stuff for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, people, and their partner doesn't know about it. And then it just blows up, and then they're in my office. And I get that, but I'm like, number one, what were you afraid of? I'm not judging or bashing. I'm asking, were you afraid to bring this up to your person, to your partner, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, doesn't matter. And were you afraid to maybe cause an argument? I get that, but we can heal it. And those are things that I want people to be able to address. Hey, what can we talk about more readily? If we have a problem, do we feel safe enough talking about anything in a relationship, even if it hurts our feelings, pisses us off? And again, it's not intentional. It might not, I hope it's not intentional, but even we have to look at our impact we have on each other, instead of, oh, that wasn't my intention, so you shouldn't be mad, you shouldn't be upset, you shouldn't be hurt. What? No, we need to go after the impact of our person first, and then we can go after the intent, our intent after. But we want to connect with each other's pain. And a lot of times with relationships and marriages, a lot of challenges, complications, like I said at the beginning, most of what I deal with are affairs. One cheated, both cheated, full-blown affairs, or maybe emotionally cheated, social media, that type of stuff. And it's not social media, it's the person. So you have to look at, what caused it. Again, not justifying, not condoning it. I never want to be taken out of context about that situation, but it's looking at, what did my partner, were they bored? Why did they reach out to want to talk to somebody else? Were they not feeling loved the way they needed? Were they feeling ignored? Were they feeling like they can't talk to me? Did they feel like they weren't desired or craved by me? How many times have you even had this conversation with your partner? And I call them relationship check-ins. Okay, are you good? Do you feel loved? Do you feel like I desire you? And a lot of people will take for granted, and it's hard when we start going through having kids. Okay, kids, you're not sleeping, you're exhausted, you're tired, and your partner, well, I don't feel loved. You got to be realistic, right? You have to be realistic about life and about relationships, about marriage. Nothing's perfect, but having the ability to have those conversations, to talk about it, to want to get better and more connected, that's where it needs to be at. Because if your person, or maybe you, are in a relationship or in a situation that, your partner could care less about improving it or growing or trying to be better, then maybe that's not the person for you. Maybe you're not compatible with that person. And it's heartbreaking, like we talked about, and Shelby mentioned earlier, the difference between what your heart says and what your gut says. It's hard. I don't want to hurt anyone. I hate it. Johnny, yeah, that's my office right back here. I appreciate it. So yeah, that's my office back here. And actually, I'm going to be moving my office. It's still going to be in Metro Detroit. Oh, thanks, Johnny. I appreciate it. But I'm actually um, moving my office in a couple weeks. I'm still going to be in Metro Detroit. About 5 minutes from here, I ran into some issues at this office place. So I'm moving. So that's not too good professional or seeing clients. So I need to move to a better location. But that'll be cool. I got cool views and out the window. So no, I appreciate it, Johnny. Thanks, man. Cynthia on Facebook, took me 28 years to find that out. Cynthia, can you be a little more specific? I know your story, but for the listeners, I want, to find out about being able to talk maybe to everything, to find out, what's going on in a relationship or marriage. And then you find out 20 years later, your partner's feeling this way or your person's feeling a certain way. I tell people that's not fair to you if you're holding on to something for, a year, 5 years, 6 months, 20 years, 30 years. And what happens is, that doesn't give your partner the ability to even try to heal it, to try to work on it, to try to, you know, show remorse or even address what's going on. That takes their decision making and just wipes it all away from them. So it's not fair to you that you're dealing with something and you're not trying to get help and be able to express it. Number two, it's not fair for your partner, your person, because now they have no clue what's going on and they can't do anything with what they don't know. They can't fix what they don't know, right? Or heal it. And number three, it's not fair to the relationship because it's going to build resentment. And especially if it's a repeated offense, it's just going to pop. And then, oh my God, you've been doing this for 15 years and I can't stand it. And your partner in person is like, what are you talking about? I had no idea. So it's not fair. That's what I look at. What would it take for you to feel more courageous, to feel more, to have that strength and courage? I know it's not easy to be able to talk about and bring up stuff from the heart and soul to your partner and not be afraid to talk about it, right? And I'm not talking attacking. I'm talking to, hey, I felt disrespected when you did this, man. It hurt my feelings. It ripped me apart when you said this or talked poorly about me to your family members, or you embarrassed me and I don't like it. And you know what? I'm sorry. I apologize. I want to own that and heal it, make sure it doesn't happen again. That would be terrific, right? Awesome. However, what happens is a lot of people, if they don't care how they impacted you, if they don't care how you feel or what you're thinking, thoughts are, right? Doesn't mean they have to agree. I hate to break your heart, but they don't have to agree. But if they don't care how they impact you, how they hurt you, they water it down, they blow it off. And why are you with that person, right? I get it because I love her, Greg. I love him. I understand that. But I'm also about self-love and self-respect. You can love somebody fully and still have self-love and self-respect. You can give your heart and soul and still hold on to your self-love and self-respect and have that balance, okay? So I appreciate everybody listening. Like I said, it's new. I usually do a live show and pick a topic. It could be healing after an affair. It could be communication skills. It could be, sexual enhancement and trying to enlighten your intimacy level. Or, you want to try something new in the bedroom, but your partner is reluctant. Or, compatibility aspects. I usually pick a topic, but I'm doing a different format today. I love the Q&A, and I'd love to hear your questions. I might be talking about a topic, and it might not have anything to do with something that has a question or someone that has a question. Okay, so that's where I want to do a Q&A format, so you get an opportunity to. And if you want to be anonymous, and most people just have their first name on the chats, so and you can be anonymous. I don't even have to mention your name. And if hey, Greg, don't mention my name, but here's my question. I respect that. I mean, professionally, I'm about privacy, HIPAA laws, everything else. Okay, Kelly, I appreciate you too. Okay, here we go. I have everything my whole heart. Unfortunately, a year and a half ago, I realized something was changing with him, her partner. I chose to chalk it up to all the changes in our lives, illnesses, both kids moving out. He was very ill a couple years ago as well. 6 months ago, things got worse. I still kept giving, but he gave nothing. He refuses to communicate until recently when he told me he was no longer in love with me. I asked why he didn't tell me a year ago. And that is sad, and it's heartbreaking. I actually got the chills reading that. And I deal with this every day. And a lot of people, I'm different, okay? I actually care about my clients. I care about people. Not that others don't, but I do. I have a lot of compassion and empathy. And I'm also very solution oriented as well, though. And, it's heartbreaking. I hear stories like this on a daily basis, that one person wanted a divorce or leaving, or had an affair for a couple of years, and the other one had no idea, no clue. They didn't know what was going on. A new couple yesterday, same situation. And then as I go deeper into the issues, or trying to find out what the issues are, things start coming up that they knew, but they ignored. They put their head in the sands. They ignored. They thought everything was healed and done with, and it wasn't. I get that. And that's where I want people to be able to talk about it and to make it safe for each other to talk about anything, what you're feeling, what you're thinking in the relationship. That doesn't mean you're allowed to bash. That doesn't mean you're allowed to rip each other apart, criticize each other, belittle, demean. You get me? A lot of people will, hey, I feel hurt. Oh, you shouldn't feel hurt. That wasn't my intent. And I just shake my head. I'm like, what? Because it wasn't your intent doesn't mean, again, the impact on your person doesn't mean that doesn't exist anymore. No, go after the impact. Man, I'm so sorry. I get you. I hurt you. I didn't ever want to hurt you or disrespect you. My intent was not that. We can go after our intent after the fact, but we need to hit on the impact we have with our person or people in general. And it could go with family members, siblings, your kids, that type of situation. And it helps, sort of de-escalate the anger and the fear, because you're showing that person you care by asking, by connecting with what's going on with them. And relationships are not a one-way street. Oh, hell no, right? And that's where you look at, are you, like the individual mentioned in the chat, that, I gave. But we also have to look at, okay, I'm not getting what I need back in a relationship or marriage. It's not being selfish. We're all in a relationship or marriage because we're getting something out of it. Let's be honest, okay? So looking at, what do we need? What is the most important thing we want in a relationship? And that's where we need to be able to adjust and look at, hey, this is important to me. Oh, that shouldn't be important to you. Why do you care about that? I'm going to tell you, if you hear that, you're with the wrong person right off the bat. Okay? Again, it's got to be consensual. Nothing's perfect, but you need to get what's important to you. That's, out of a relationship, or you're going to feel unloved, uncared about, or it's all about the other person. So I also look at the situation to be able to, what am I doing? What am I not missing? A lot of people could look at, I gave everything. I hear it all the time. I gave everything. I gave my heart, my soul, my blood, my tears to him, to her. And I ask, was it what your person needed? Was it what your partner was asking for? Right? Again, our intent could be to love somebody and, love them and do whatever. And the person never felt love because they were not getting what was most important to them. Meaning, we'll say, you know what, he brings her flowers all the time or once a week or whatever. I'm showing you I love you. I'm showing you I love you for 20 years. And for 20 years, she's telling him she don't like flowers. You get me? Or, oh, I cook him dinner, make him lunch, whatever. And he could care less. He appreciates it. I want the appreciation to be there. But babe, that's not important to me. I'd rather have affection. I'd rather have this. Well, that's not me. That's what I don't give affection. That's not who I am. But I show you I love you this way. Your intentions are great. Thank you so much. However, that's not what I'm looking for. That's not important to me in a relationship. And that's where that compatibility comes into play. And that's where I want you to be able to look at and to address those situations. Okay. So I'm going to try to do a live Q&A from now on, every Wednesday at 12 noon. And I'm going to see how it goes. I'm going to pop in, do live Q&As now and then as well. And I'm trying to check, see if there's any more chats going on. I appreciate taking your time. I value your time's important to you. So I'm very, very flattered, very humble that you popped in to see me on TikTok and all the other formats, YouTube, Facebook. Instagram, there was a technical glitch, so I don't know what happened. We'll find out what that. So again, I sincerely thank you. Also, check out my website, new design, theartofrelationships.org. I have a few self-help courses, and they're reasonable, right? They're actually cheaper than a session with me, and I'm very reasonable seeing couples. I want to help people. I suck at business, but check them out, theartofrelationships.org slash courses, or you can look at it's in the header on the website, and I have a course, Healing After an Affair, 28 Days to Ignite Your Relationship, and I also have a premarital course as well. And it's a lot of bonuses. You get a copy of my latest book, a bunch of other videos, a bunch of bonuses I have as well. I'm all about trying to help people have a successful, happy, healthy relationship. And that's what it means to you two, okay? Or you and your partner or future partner. Again, peace and love, everybody. I appreciate everybody tuning in and, thank you so much. Take care, everybody.